Eric Donaldson is a name that once dominated reggae charts and radio waves, yet today, some people ask, what happened to him? You may recognize his voice from classics like Cherry O Baby, a song that became a reggae anthem around the world. But after decades of music, his presence seems quieter than expected. In this video, we will explore his rise to fame, the challenges he faced, and what he is doing now. By the end, you will have a clear picture of Eric Donaldson's career and legacy. Early life and musical roots. Eric Donaldson was born on October 10, 1947, in Jamaica, a country that practically breathes music. From the moment he could talk, the rhythms of the island surrounded him. Growing up, Eric was immersed in a culture rich with folk songs, mento, and the early strains of ska. His early life gave him not just an appreciation for music, but a deep understanding of the stories music could tell. While some kids were focused on sports or school, Eric spent hours listening to records, mimicking singers, and humming melodies that would later define his career. Like many young Jamaican musicians of his generation, Eric's first experiences with music came in informal settings. He would sing at local events, school functions, and small gatherings in his neighborhood. These early performances were not just for fun. They were practice grounds that helped him develop stage presence, timing, and a natural ability to connect with audiences. Even at a young age, people noticed his talent. His voice had a smooth but powerful quality that made him stand out from other kids singing at the time. It was clear early on that Eric was not just another voice in the crowd. The Jamaican music scene of the 1960s was evolving rapidly. Ska had taken the country by storm, and rocksteady was just around the corner. Eric grew up listening to the pioneers of these genres, learning from their sounds and styles. He absorbed the work of artists like Desmond Dekker, Ken Booth, and Toots Hibbert, blending these influences into his own unique style. His approach was never about copying. It was about creating something personal, something that felt authentic to his life experiences and the island's rhythms. Eric's family supported his passion for music, even if it was not the most conventional career choice. They encouraged him to continue singing and experimenting with melodies, knowing that music was more than a hobby for him. It was his calling. He also spent time learning the basics of songwriting, understanding that crafting a song was about more than a catchy tune. It required emotion, storytelling, and the ability to touch people's hearts. This foundation would later become one of Eric's strongest assets, allowing him to write songs that were not just enjoyable, but meaningful. By the late 1960s, Eric Donaldson was already performing at local clubs and small venues, gaining recognition for his smooth vocal style and his to hold an audience's attention. These early performances were crucial, giving him both experience and confidence. They also helped him form connections in the music industry, from producers to fellow musicians, that would eventually open doors to bigger opportunities. The combination of talent, hard work, and immersion in Jamaica's vibrant musical culture created the perfect conditions for Eric to rise. Eric Donaldson's early life and musical roots are essential to understanding his later success. They show how a passion nurtured from childhood, combined with a supportive environment and exposure to cultural influences, can set the stage for greatness. From neighborhood performances to the rhythms of ska and rocksteady, every step of Eric's early years shaped the artist he would become. Without these roots, the classics that later defined him, including the iconic Cherry O Baby, might never have existed. Rise to fame. By the early 1970s, Eric Donaldson was no longer just a promising talent in Jamaica. He was starting to make a name for himself on a larger scale. His voice, already honed through years of performing at local gatherings and small clubs, began catching the attention of producers and record labels. Eric's blend of smooth vocals, compelling storytelling, and reggae rhythms positioned him as an artist ready for national recognition. One of the key factors in Eric's rise was his participation in local music competitions. These contests were incredibly popular in Jamaica and often served as springboards for artists to showcase their abilities to producers and audiences beyond their immediate neighborhoods. Eric took these opportunities seriously. He entered competitions with a mix of nervous excitement and confidence, performing original songs and covers with an energy that immediately set him apart. Winning or placing highly in these contests added credibility to his name and helped him build a following. Producers quickly noticed Eric's unique talent. By this time, Jamaican music was evolving, and the demand for strong vocalists who could deliver memorable hits was growing. Eric's approach to songwriting, which combined storytelling with catchy melodies, made him an attractive choice for collaboration. Early recordings captured the authenticity of his voice, and his ability to convey emotion through lyrics resonated with listeners. Tracks like Music is Life and Sweet Jamaica began circulating, gradually building his reputation as a rising star in the reggae scene. Networking also played a critical role. Eric cultivated relationships with other musicians, producers, and DJs, ensuring he was part of the conversations shaping the music industry at the time. These connections led to recording opportunities and helped his songs reach a wider audience. He also performed at venues that were essential to the Jamaican music circuit, from dance halls to community events, solidifying his presence and expanding his fan base. His performances were known for their energy and charisma, qualities that made people take notice and remember his name long after the show ended. By the mid-1970s, Eric Donaldson's hard work began to pay off, with charting singles and growing media coverage. Radio stations played his songs regularly, and fans started to recognize him on the streets. The combination of talent, persistence, and strategic exposure allowed Eric to transition from local fame to national attention. He was no longer just a gifted singer. He was becoming a significant figure in Jamaican music. This period of rise to fame set the foundation for Eric Donaldson's iconic contributions to reggae. His early hits demonstrated his ability to connect with listeners through both music and message. They also established patterns in his career: strong storytelling, consistent quality, and a commitment to performing music that resonated with everyday life. Without this critical phase of development, later achievements, including winning the Jamaica Festival Song Competition multiple times, might not have been possible. Signature song moments. Eric Donaldson's name is inseparable from some of reggae's most iconic songs, and no discussion of his career is complete without focusing on these signature moments. One track stands above the rest: Cherry Oh Baby. Released in the early 1970s, this song became an instant classic, earning him recognition not just in Jamaica, but internationally. Its catchy melody, playful lyrics, and Eric's smooth vocal delivery made it a hit that continues to resonate with reggae fans decades later. Cherry Oh Baby showcases his ability to combine humor, storytelling, and rhythm in a way that feels effortless. The song's popularity also opened doors for Eric. It led to more radio play, increased performance invitations, and opportunities to record with influential producers. But the success of Cherry Oh Baby was not just about the melody or lyrics. It was about Eric's unique voice and the emotion he could convey. Listeners felt a connection with the music, a sense that Eric was telling a story they could relate to. That emotional connection became a hallmark of his career, appearing in other songs that followed. Other signature tracks helped cement Eric's status as a reggae powerhouse. Songs like Music is Life and Sweet Jamaica highlighted his versatility, showing that he could handle both upbeat rhythms and more contemplative, soulful tunes. These songs captured the cultural spirit of Jamaica while also appealing to international audiences who were discovering reggae at the time. His ability to adapt to different styles while maintaining a consistent vocal identity made Eric a trusted and recognizable voice in the genre. Live performances were also critical in building his signature moments. Eric had a way of commanding the stage that drew audiences in. He could make a crowd laugh, sway, or even sing along, turning each performance into a memorable event. Many of these performances were televised or recorded, further spreading his influence. His charisma and stage presence reinforced the power of his signature songs, making them more than just hits. They became experiences that fans remembered long after the music stopped. Eric Donaldson's work also influenced other artists. Cover versions of Cherry Oh Baby by groups like the Rolling Stones and UB40 brought additional attention to his original recordings. These covers not only validated his songwriting, but also introduced his music to audiences who may not have been familiar with reggae. It is a testament to the strength of his compositions that they could be interpreted in different styles and still maintain their charm and impact. Signature song moments like these represent the peak of Eric's creative output. They show a blend of technical skill, emotional resonance, and cultural relevance. Each track tells a story, reflects the spirit of the time, and demonstrates Eric's dedication to his craft. For fans and new listeners alike, these songs remain essential listening, illustrating why Eric Donaldson earned his place among reggae's most respected artists. Peak career and popularity. By the late 1970s and early 1980s, Eric Donaldson had firmly established himself as a leading voice in reggae music. His career was no longer just about promise or rising talent. At this point, he had become a household name in Jamaica and was gaining recognition abroad. The combination of his signature songs, stage presence, and consistent output of quality music helped him reach the peak of his career. Eric's success during this period was marked by several notable achievements. One of the highlights was his repeated wins at the Jamaica Festival Song Competition. This competition was a highly respected event that celebrated original songs that reflected Jamaican culture. Eric won multiple times, showcasing both his songwriting talent and his ability to connect with audiences. These victories cemented his reputation, not only as a singer, but as a cultural ambassador for Jamaican music. Albums released during this period further expanded his popularity. His recordings blended traditional reggae rhythms with contemporary sounds, ensuring that his music remained relevant while still authentic. Tracks like Cherry O Baby continued to resonate, while newer releases demonstrated his evolving style. Eric had a knack for keeping his music fresh without losing the elements that made his voice and storytelling so compelling. Fans appreciated his ability to balance familiarity with innovation. Touring played a major role in the height of his career. Eric performed extensively across Jamaica and internationally, bringing reggae to audiences who may not have been familiar with the genre. His concerts were energetic and engaging, showcasing his charisma and skill. Fans remember these performances not just for the music, but for the experience of seeing an artist fully committed to entertaining and connecting with the crowd. This period of live shows was instrumental in building a loyal fan base that followed him for years. Media exposure also helped maintain his prominence. Radio stations played his music regularly, and interviews and appearances on television brought him closer to fans. This visibility reinforced his status as a leading figure in reggae, allowing him to reach new listeners while keeping existing fans engaged. Eric's approachable persona and ability to speak about his music with authenticity added to his appeal, making him relatable despite his growing fame. This peak period of Eric Donaldson's career was more than just commercial success. It was a time when his artistry, cultural influence, and public presence aligned perfectly. He demonstrated that a combination of talent, hard work, and understanding one's audience can create lasting impact. His achievements during these years solidified his legacy in reggae history, ensuring that he would be remembered not only for hits like Cherry O Baby, but also as a defining voice of his generation. Awards, recognition, and cultural impact. Eric Donaldson's peak career brought him more than fame. It brought formal recognition that cemented his place in Jamaican music history. He won the Jamaica Festival Song Competition multiple times, an award considered one of the most prestigious for local artists. The competition celebrates songs that reflect Jamaican culture, values, and everyday life, and Eric's repeated victories highlighted his ability to craft music that resonated deeply with both judges and audiences. Winning this competition several times was not just a personal triumph, but also an acknowledgement of his role in shaping the musical identity of Jamaica. Beyond awards, Eric's contributions had broader cultural significance. His music became part of the Jamaican collective memory, with songs like Cherry O Baby influencing not only reggae artists, but also international acts. Covers by artists outside of Jamaica introduced his work to a global audience, spreading the cultural heritage of reggae beyond the island. His songs became symbols of Jamaican pride, reflecting the humor, resilience, and spirit of the people. Eric's impact extended to inspiring future musicians. Emerging artists often cite him as a source of inspiration, whether through his melodic phrasing, storytelling approach, or stage presence. For young performers looking to enter reggae or Caribbean music, Eric's career serves as a blueprint for blending authenticity with commercial appeal. His achievements show that success does not require abandoning cultural roots or compromising artistic integrity. Recognition also came through media and public acknowledgement. Interviews, magazine features, and radio appearances celebrated his contributions to music and culture. His influence extended beyond entertainment, with songs and performances often tied to national pride and festivals. Through these channels, Eric became more than a musician. He became a cultural ambassador, representing Jamaica's rich musical legacy to both local and international audiences. In short, Eric Donaldson's awards and recognition reflect more than his talent. They reveal the broader significance of his work. They highlight how one artist's music can shape cultural identity, inspire peers, and leave a lasting imprint on a nation's creative history. His influence continues to be felt in the music industry, proving that accolades are not only symbols of achievement, but markers of enduring impact. Challenges and setbacks. Even at the peak of his career, Eric Donaldson faced challenges that would test his resilience and dedication to music. The reggae industry in Jamaica and abroad was evolving quickly, and staying relevant required more than just talent. Shifts in public taste, competition from emerging artists, and the constant need to produce hits created pressure that could overwhelm even the most seasoned performers. For Eric, navigating these changes meant adjusting strategies without compromising his unique voice and style. One of the most significant challenges Eric encountered was maintaining visibility in a crowded musical landscape. New reggae artists were emerging regularly, bringing fresh sounds and attracting attention from younger audiences. While Eric's earlier hits had solidified his reputation, there was a risk of being overshadowed by newer trends. This situation demanded adaptability, but adaptation was tricky. He wanted to stay true to his style while remaining appealing to a changing audience. Balancing authenticity with market demands became a central challenge. Another setback was related to the music industry itself. Record labels and producers sometimes imposed restrictions on artists, prioritizing commercial appeal over creative freedom. For Eric, this occasionally meant negotiating compromises between his artistic vision and what the industry expected. It was a delicate balance, and not every decision resulted in success. These challenges were common for artists of the era, reflecting systemic issues within the music business that often force talented performers to navigate complex professional landscapes. Personal obstacles also played a role. Like many artists, Eric experienced periods of self-doubt and uncertainty about his career trajectory. The demands of touring, recording, and promoting music could be exhausting, and the pressure to replicate previous successes was constant. Moments of fatigue or frustration are natural, even for celebrated performers, and they can affect creativity and motivation. For Eric, perseverance was key. He had to find ways to stay inspired and continue producing music that resonated with fans. Despite these challenges, Eric Donaldson demonstrated remarkable persistence. He continued to write, record, and perform, relying on his talent and experience to guide him. Some setbacks even led to growth, forcing him to refine his sound, experiment with new approaches, and deepen his connection with audiences. Challenges that might have derailed a less dedicated artist became opportunities for Eric to reaffirm his commitment to music and maintain his relevance. Understanding these challenges gives a fuller picture of Eric Donaldson's career. His journey was not just a series of hits and celebrations. It involved navigating an unpredictable industry, overcoming competition, and sustaining creative energy. These setbacks highlight the resilience required to remain an influential figure in reggae music. They also underscore the reality that even successful artists face obstacles and must continuously adapt to preserve their legacy. Eric's ability to endure and continue contributing to music is a testament to both his talent and determination. Later, work and persistence. After navigating the highs and lows of his earlier career, Eric Donaldson continued to create music with the same dedication that had defined his rise. Even though mainstream attention sometimes shifted to newer artists, he remained committed to producing quality reggae that resonated with longtime fans and introduced his music to new listeners. Persistence became a hallmark of his later career, showing that true passion for music does not fade with time. Eric continued to release albums and singles that reflected both his signature style and a willingness to experiment with contemporary trends. While some of his early work had been firmly rooted in ska and rocksteady influences, his later songs incorporated modern reggae rhythms, occasionally blending elements from other Caribbean genres. This evolution demonstrated Eric's adaptability without losing the charm and authenticity that had initially attracted fans. The result was music that felt familiar yet fresh, appealing to both veteran listeners and younger audiences discovering reggae. Collaboration became an important part of Eric's later career. Working with other artists, producers, and songwriters allowed him to explore new musical directions while maintaining his distinctive voice. These partnerships often generated renewed interest in his music and sometimes led to tracks that achieved critical acclaim. Collaborations also reinforced his influence in the reggae community, showing that he could mentor or inspire other musicians while continuing to grow as an artist himself. Touring remained a key aspect of Eric Donaldson's persistence. Live performances allowed him to maintain a direct connection with his audience, sharing the energy and emotion of his songs in person. Fans who had followed him for decades appreciated these performances, often remarking on his ability to remain engaging and charismatic on stage. Performing consistently, despite changes in the industry or fluctuations in popularity, reflected his dedication to his craft and his respect for the fans who supported him. Eric's later work also emphasized the cultural and social messages in his music. He continued to write songs that reflected Jamaican life, celebrating the island's beauty, humor, and resilience. Through his lyrics, he reminded listeners of reggae's roots as both entertainment and storytelling. Even in quieter periods, his contributions reinforced the genre's values and preserved a connection to traditional reggae themes. Despite the challenges of sustaining a long career, Eric Donaldson's persistence allowed him to remain relevant and respected. He demonstrated that longevity in the music industry is not just about achieving early success, but also about maintaining dedication, adapting thoughtfully, and staying connected to one's audience. His later work may not always have topped charts, but it reinforced his influence, ensuring that his voice remained a defining presence in reggae. Eric's persistence shows that a career in music is more than fleeting fame. It is about resilience, creativity, and the ability to continue producing meaningful work, even when the spotlight shifts. For Eric Donaldson, these qualities ensured that his legacy would continue, inspiring both fans and fellow musicians for years to come. Influence on music. Eric Donaldson's contributions to reggae go far beyond his chart-topping hits. His influence on the genre and on fellow musicians is undeniable. Through his unique voice, songwriting skills, and storytelling ability, Eric helped shape the sound of reggae while inspiring a generation of artists who came after him. Even those who never worked directly with him often acknowledge the impact of his style and legacy. One of the most visible ways Eric influenced music is through his songwriting. Tracks like Cherry O Baby are not just hits. They are templates for melody, rhythm, and lyrical flow in reggae. His songs demonstrate a balance of catchy hooks and meaningful storytelling, proving that pop appeal and authenticity can coexist. For aspiring musicians, his work offers lessons in crafting songs that resonate both locally and internationally. Many artists have covered or sampled his tracks, further spreading his influence. Eric's vocal style has also been a major source of inspiration. His smooth, expressive delivery and natural phrasing set him apart from other singers of his era. Singers who admire him often cite his ability to convey emotion without overdoing it, striking a tone that is both accessible and compelling. This skill has influenced not only reggae vocalists but also artists in other Caribbean genres who value clarity, rhythm, and emotional connection in performance. Beyond technical influence, Eric Donaldson shaped cultural perceptions of reggae. His music often celebrated Jamaican identity, humor, and everyday life, reflecting the values and experiences of the island. This approach encouraged other artists to write songs that were authentic to their roots, rather than merely chasing international trends. Eric's ability to achieve success while staying true to his cultural background set a standard for others in the industry. Eric's influence is also evident in mentorship and collaboration. Over the years, he has worked with younger artists and shared insights from decades of experience. These interactions often guide emerging musicians in understanding both the creative and business sides of reggae. Even when not directly mentoring, his recordings serve as examples of professionalism and artistic integrity, showing what it means to sustain a career in music without sacrificing identity or quality. The lasting nature of Eric Donaldson's influence is seen in how frequently his songs continue to be performed, sampled, and celebrated. His impact crosses generations, connecting early reggae fans with modern listeners. Through covers by international artists and continued radio play, his work remains a reference point for quality reggae. This ongoing relevance underscores the depth of his contributions, showing that influence is measured not only by immediate success, but also by enduring presence in music culture. Eric Donaldson's influence on music encompasses songwriting, vocal technique, cultural authenticity, and mentorship. His ability to inspire artists while creating timeless tracks cements his status as a defining figure in reggae. For anyone studying the genre or aspiring to make a mark in music, Eric's career offers lessons in talent, persistence, and staying true to one's voice. His legacy is a testament to how one artist's dedication can ripple through generations, shaping a sound and a culture that continues to thrive. Where he is now. Eric Donaldson is still very much a respected figure in reggae music, though his presence in mainstream media is quieter than during his peak years. He continues to perform, record, and connect with fans, proving that a true artist's dedication never fades. While he may not be topping charts as he once did, his influence and legacy remain strong, both in Jamaica and internationally. His ongoing contributions remind us that a meaningful career in music is about more than fleeting fame. It is about consistency, passion, and staying true to one's artistic vision. In recent years, Eric has focused on selective performances and recording projects that allow him to maintain quality and authenticity. He performs at festivals, local venues, and special events, often receiving standing ovations from audiences who have followed him for decades. His live performances remain engaging and energetic, demonstrating that age has not diminished his stage presence or his connection with fans. These appearances also introduce his music to younger audiences, bridging generations and keeping reggae vibrant and relevant. Eric has also continued to write and record music that celebrates Jamaican culture and life. His songs often highlight themes of everyday experiences, love, and social commentary, reflecting the same storytelling approach that made him a standout artist earlier in his career. This commitment to authenticity ensures that his work remains true to the spirit of reggae while adapting to contemporary sensibilities. It also reinforces his role as a cultural ambassador, showcasing the richness of Jamaica's musical heritage to the world. Despite the lower visibility in mainstream outlets, Eric Donaldson's impact is far from diminished. His earlier recordings, especially classics like Cherry O Baby, continue to receive radio play and streaming attention, demonstrating that quality music never truly disappears. Fans and fellow artists alike frequently cite his influence, and his songs are still covered or sampled, further extending his reach and relevance. In this way, Eric has maintained a quiet but enduring presence in reggae history. Eric also spends time mentoring and collaborating with emerging artists. While he may not be in the commercial spotlight, his guidance helps shape the next generation of musicians. By sharing his experience and insight, he ensures that the values of dedication, authenticity, and musical excellence continue in contemporary reggae. This behind-the-scenes work demonstrates that influence can extend far beyond public recognition, shaping a genre from within. Where Eric Donaldson is now is a reflection of a full career. He balances performing, recording, mentoring, and enjoying the respect of fans who have followed him for decades. His journey shows that enduring success is not always about constant visibility, but about the lasting impact of one's art. Eric's continued presence in music reminds us that true artistry thrives through passion, persistence, and a connection to culture that cannot be measured simply by charts or headlines. Eric Donaldson's journey through reggae music is a story of talent, persistence, and lasting impact. From early performances in Jamaica to iconic hits like Cherry O Baby, he has shaped the sound of reggae and influenced generations of artists. While his mainstream visibility may have changed, his music and legacy continue to resonate. Eric's story reminds us that true artistry is about dedication, connection, and staying authentic, not just topping charts. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this dive into Eric Donaldson's career, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more music history content.